Meet Sherry Lansing. She's the co-producer of Fatal Attraction, and she and Stanley Jaffe have this preposterous idea that movies can be about something.
That's right.
Coming off of a summertime of predominantly fluffy movies, we're getting into a good time right now.
I think that the more serious movies are always released in the fall or in the spring.
Tell us about the rationale of targeting the fall season like that.
The fall season is historically when kids are back in school and when adults come out to go to the movies. The beach weather is over with, and people are more ready for a serious movie. There's a whole mentality in the summer that is just about having fun. So if you put a serious movie out there, everybody says, oh, I don't want to be depressed, I don't want to deal with that.
And do you think sometimes adults will stay away because the theater is so crowded with the kids?
Absolutely. That's another reason. That's a good point, actually.
How long has this kind of thinking then been operative in movie making
Ever
about the
since
fall?
I've been in the business, which is now about 15 years. So I'm sure it was there before I got there, too.
That must mean that in your own project development, you sort of see fall as the target time
I
all
see
along?
fall or the spring as the target time for more serious movies. So I was very pleased that Paramount shared that idea.
Now, a lot of those adults that you hope will come out, alas, are sometimes saying, well, I'll wait and see Fatal Attraction on cassette at home. Talk to them.
Well, I think what's happening is that they're coming back to the movies more and more now. And you give them a good movie. There's an old saying, you give them a good movie, you can't keep them away.
Now, that's not wishful thinking? You think
No,
that really
I think
is true?
they are. And if not, they do see them on the cassette. And I guess you have to say better that they see them than that they don't see them at all.
But is there something about the big screen experience that you yourself
I don't think
treasure and advocate?
I don't think there's any comparison. I think that if you see a movie in the big screen with a dark theater surrounded by people, it's much more pleasurable than sitting at home and watching it on a little box.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel sorry for people that just see movies on cassettes because there's no comparison between the emotional involvement that you have when you see it on a big screen. So I hope that everybody will come to see it when we're running theatrically.
I want to share with you something. I just finished writing an article in Kansas City about a burgeoning scene in theater involving women, not just as actors now, but as writers, producers, technicians.
Absolutely.
And part of the irony of this article is we think because of a few gains in feminism that the whole battle was won instead of just a few skirmishes. So therefore, is it time to talk again about women in the entertainment industry making strides? It's not an old hat topic, is it?
I don't think it's ever old hat to talk about progress, but I have to say that, in my opinion, women in the movie business are treated quite equally. There really isn't any prejudice against us. We're judged on our talent, and we're not judged on our sex.
Is some of this, though, because people like you are in positions of power now?
Hopefully that, you know, when one woman makes it, it's better for everybody, you know. But there are a lot of women that are successful in the movie business. Women directors, women writers, women producers. We're just in all areas of the movie business now.
Who are some of the ladies that you might single out as your sisters, so to speak, in this business
Oh, there's
now?
a lot. I mean, you know, I guess I would rather speak generically than name one or two women, because then I'll think an hour later, but I didn't name the other 10 that I feel that way about. But you know, 4 years ago, everybody was saying there are no women directing pictures. Well, this year, 3 pictures came out that were very well received by women, you know, that they had directed them. There's been other women running studios, there's been other producers, there's been other women writers. So it's really quite an exciting time.
Camera crews, too? Is
Yes,
that happening?
that's just beginning
That
to
seems to be
happen.
one of the areas where we really see very little of that.
But you know, the reason that you see very little is that we're just entering the workforce. In other words, we haven't been trying to produce movies for 100 years. We've just begun. We haven't been trying to be a cameraman for 100 years. We've just begun. So consequently, the progress takes time. We have to pay our dues like anybody else. But we have, and we are in those areas now.
A last word about Fatal Attraction. It's scary. We
Yes.
haven't had a good scare. We haven't had a good scare in the theater for a while, I think, an effective one.
I think it's a very suspenseful thriller, and it's always based on reality. It's really in the mode of an Alfred Hitchcock type of movie.
And even when we see the shocks coming, they work anyway.
Well,
That's
I think
the
they
miracle.
surprise you all the time. I mean, I, who have seen the movie 20 times, still jump when certain things happen.
I was going to say, when it's thoughtful and scary at the same time, that's a great combination.
Thank
Sherry
you.
Lansing,
I'm really delighted to
pleasure
speak
meet
to you.
We're talking about Fatal Attraction, and I'm John Tibbetts for KCTV5 in New York City.